Week 2 in the Real League showed a drop in the amount of total points scored, but an increase in intensity. All that and more this week on Real Talk. Also, Max's team didn't break 30 going into Monday night. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Yurt Lapcum. Let's take a look at this week's matchups. Team Nasty Nate won their second game this week against Team Is That JJ What You Say. Despite the 27-point performance by Michael Vick, Coach Charlie McGugan just couldn't pull out the victory. But even if he had decided to pull out, it wouldn't have saved him against the extremely potent and fertile offense of running back Marshawn Lynch. Lynch scored an explosive 26 points. Team Nasty Nate beats Is That JJ What You Say 107-86. The other McGugan brother, however, did have a great game. Going into Monday night, Moofy 24 is beating the LA Golds 85-55. Coach Hank Patterson still has his defense to play, though. So if the Cincinnati defense can score 31 points, or if Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Emmanuel Sanders can score a combined total of negative 31 points, the LA Golds still may get the W, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Ashley Schaefer BMW got their first win for the season. Coach Marco Flores was able to defeat an underperforming Vinegar Strokes team, and the fact that Aaron Rodgers put up 33 points helped too. While his defense put up a measly 2 points, it still was better than Coach Daniel Kelly's 0-point San Diego defense. Ashley Schaefer BMW wins 96-73. Speaking of underperforming, Q's Cornball Bros sure did have an awful game this week. While RG3 put up good numbers, Coach Pearson Cunningham's other quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, just performed horrendous. After Caps turnover Bukaki on the Seattle defense, which included 3 interceptions and a fumble loss, he racked up an embarrassing -1 points. Kim Jong-ril, however, had a good game, and he's expected to win this matchup. Coach Devine's team is leading the Cornball Bros 107-70 going into Monday night. This week also showed the most intense matchup of the league, Coach Tanner Jones versus Coach Field Snyder. Despite early projections, 2-for-1 Plums defeated Monsters, Inc. I'm joined now by Coach Field Snyder via satellite. How are you doing, Coach? Thanks for joining me today.
Glad to be here.
So what were your thoughts going into this game?
I actually wasn't very worried. This was probably my easiest matchup of the season. I took the week off. I went to the beach and ignored the poorly worded trash talk thrown my way. Got some rays. Just had a good time. I actually forgot to set my lineup.
What are your thoughts on the Commissioners team now being 0-2 and also sitting in that second to last place mark?
Well, it's pretty fitting when you're going against the better Jones brother to open your season and also the more dominant rival in the last 3 years for week 2. There was really no other option than for Coach Tanner Jones to secure the bitch number 1 spots.
Any other comments?
I'm looking forward to either a better matchup or shit talk that holds its ground in week 13. By the way, I'm now accepting applications for a more challenging rival.
Well, thanks for joining us.
It was a pleasure being on the show.
2-for-1 Plums defeats Monsters, Inc. 84-77. Coach Stephen Flores added another victory to his season this week. Despite his keeper Gronkowski's terrible fantasy performance, Mutant Mayonnaise still had a worse performance. With 3 players scoring 0 points, things don't look good for Coach Max Shipley going into Monday night. Charles Manson's Marauders just helter-skeltered Mutant Mayonnaise with a score of 82-28 going into Monday in this week's Gokum Game of the Week. And if you don't know what Gokum is, don't look it up on your work computer. Last but not least, the savior of the Real League, Coach Trey, the chosen one McFall, vanquished the evil Alex Edelman this week, giving Alex his first loss since he earned that trophy last season. Now, I don't know if it was Eddie Lacy's 0 performance that led to Alex losing, or if it was Mike Williams' 0-point performance. But what I do know is that Draft Punk beat the Titty Duckers without the use of their kicker. Trey wins 76-42 going into Monday night. Well, that's all for this week. Make sure to keep tuning in to Real Talk for all your coverage of the Real League. So see you next week, and until then, keep it real.